Hi everyone and welcome to another video of Race to the White House Election Forecast 2024. On this video we're going to take an updated look at the state of the race to the White House when we are in mid-November, just 3 weeks, actually 2.5 weeks from election day, and when millions of people have already started voting. So here we just filled out a map with the likely, safe and lean state. So there's really not much to say about this map. The states are expected to vote in either in a certain direction, and really if any of those states should swap, I would project the election to be a landslide. I like spend 2 words here in Florida. We of course put Florida as likely Republican, Texas as lean Republican. Expect Texas to vote slightly to the left of Florida by around I'm voting Republicans by around 5-6 points. For what concerns the Democrats, of course, we have Illinois and New Jersey that are really on the threshold of 12 points, so really between likely and safe. But we'll come to that later. We will see that the national environment has shifted a little bit. And we have, of course, Minnesota and New Hampshire. They are lean Republican, lean Democrats. I expect them to vote to the left of those battleground states, but again, they'll be closer than other states. And really, 2 words on the main second congressional district, likely Republican, and the Nebraska second congressional district that encompasses the state of Omaha, again, is a likely Democrat state. So here we're left with 7 battleground states, the big 7 battleground states, with Kamala Harris at 227 electoral votes and Trump at 219 electoral votes. So here we're going to take a look in each state how the state of the race is going. First of all, we need to take a look at the national environment. The national environment has shifted a little bit since the last video. Trump has gained ground, alright? Harris really was forced to make some unscripted interview, Fox News interview, and again, we've seen in polls that Trump is gaining ground. We're here in 538 polling average nationally, as Harris leading by around 2 points just here, and RCP politics here, and Harris leading by around 1.4 points. It's really widely understood that Harris needs to win the popular vote in order to win the Electoral College, and probably she needs to win the electoral vote by more than 2 points or 2.5 points in order to have a chance of winning the electoral vote. So here, when you look at those polling averages, and you look at really polling averages both in the 2020 and 2016 election that really underestimated Trump on a national level as well as on a state level, you think that Kamala Harris may be in a sticky wicket, alright? The model really takes in those data and projects that she wins by 1.2 points. Alright, taking into account the probability distribution, the model expects her to win by around 1.2 points. It won't be enough for her to win the presidency, as we'll see. Many states are really close, alright? So maybe we may have a situation in which the popular vote really doesn't matter if Harris win by 2 or 3 points, because the election may be decided by just thousands of votes here in the 7 battleground states. So since the race is really localized this year, we may arrive to a point where the popular vote has less of a bearing on the election. So really don't be surprised at the end if maybe Harris wins in those states by really narrow margins and only wins the popular vote by 1.5 points or 1 point. But generally speaking, she needs to win the popular vote. So let's start here from the north, alright? This is 3 Rust Belt states. For all across the election cycle right here, you can see that Trump has really been trailing in those states, in particular in Wisconsin and Michigan, against Kamala Harris. You can see right here in 538, you see a lot blue here, and even around 2 points in Wisconsin. You go at 538, and again you see that the pattern is the same, alright? If you take a look here, for example, you see that Harris has been consistently leading all across the cycle. In the next few days, Trump has taken the lead, alright? In 538, we have Harris at plus 0.2, and in RCP politics, we have Trump actually leading by just 0.1 point. Remember, this is a state, Wisconsin, that voted for Biden by just 0.63 points in 2020. And this is a state where polling error was so big both in 2020 and in 2016, alright? Trump was underestimated by around 7 points in both years. So really the question is, will this poll error continue or not? Um, the most likely answer is yes, but not by the same extent, alright? We don't expect Trump to win Wisconsin by 8 points. But if you consider that Wisconsin is really the most conservative state here in among the set of battlegrounds, very conservative, very old, very rural, and not so educated, those demographics that really help Republicans, I don't expect Harris to be able to win enough votes right here in Milwaukee County and Dane County to really offset those votes. So I expect Wisconsin to vote to the right of those of most of the 7 battleground states. It remains, fundamentally speaking, a big Republican pickup opportunity and will go down as lean Republican as the model gives Trump around 75% chance of winning Wisconsin with a projected margin of around 4 points. So if you go in Michigan, you have the same situation really, and you really see that maybe because of Arab voters, Muslim voters that really are very popular in Detroit area, that they don't like how Harris, how the administration handling as a war, so they may of course backfire. You see that Trump has really taken the lead in polls, and Michigan was a state where the poll error was as bad as in Wisconsin in 2020 and 2016. So you see those new polls really showing Trump actually leading by 1 point with all those polls. Again, you see 6 polls right here, and all 6 polls are at 4 winning point for Trump leading and 2 tied. So really, Trump is really faring good, well in polls. Michigan is really the most, among those 3 Rust Belt states, the most favorable for Democrats, of course. This is because it's more educated and more urban. Here in Detroit area, you have here Wayne County, home to Detroit. But again, take a look here, blue-collar workers right here and rural voters right here. This is where this is those that Trump tried to engage, right? Trump tried really to reach out to unconventional voters. And here in the rural upper state is really packed with those kind of voters. So if Trump really can make inroads with those voters, I believe he can win Wisconsin, in particular because the state is really trending to the right. All right, if you take a look here in 2012, Obama won it by 10 points, and in 2008 by 17 points, and you can really see how it shifted to the right. So for what concerns Alma, we're gonna put Michigan down as lean Republican too. That's because a model gives Trump at around 65% chance of winning with an associated probability of 3%. And really this is because the shift in polls. So we'll take a look at new polls in just 2 weeks. For what concerns Pennsylvania, of course, Pennsylvania, if you look at polls, are not really a little bit better for Harris. Alright, Trump's only leading by 0.5 points, but polls have been more consistent. Right, they have been tied for all the cycle, and in 2020 and 2016, polling error wasn't as bad in Pennsylvania. Actually, Real Clear Politics nailed the result in Pennsylvania in 2020. Pennsylvania, of course, is a really swing state, the most important state. Here, of course, you have suburbs and the urban area that really try to offset Trump's strength here in the rural areas, like here in the rural areas of Pennsylvania. I think Pennsylvania remains a Republican pickup opportunity. This is simply because Trump is really so strong with those kind of voters, with kind of rural voters, white voters, and really, if you take a look again right here in Obama years, Pennsylvania has been really shifting to the right. So take a look at polls, take a look at the national environment. I think that, of course, Harris has big opportunities. She has opportunities with urban voters, suburban voters, and she's really trying to reach out to rural voters as well. But I believe that, again, if you take a look, if you rank those states, Pennsylvania, really among the 7 battlegrounds, the middle state, and I think that Trump has a big opportunity right here in Pennsylvania, and the state may actually decide the election. Right now, Pennsylvania will go down as still Republican, as Trump has projected to win it by around 1.5 points. But again, the race is so close here in Pennsylvania, but not as close as it is in those other states. Again, the election is pretty much a statistical tie right now. We're talking about thousands of votes, right? So really, right now, the projection is that Trump is leading Pennsylvania, but this may change really quickly. So going down here in the south, you see Trump just votes shy of the 2017 election threshold, and he'll get this by winning the state of North Carolina, which will go down as lean Republican. Despite some polling right here in North Carolina that really has Harris within 1 point, as you can see here, and some polls really actually showing her leading. North Carolina is going to really vote to the right of those other states, and simply because demographically speaking, it's more conservative, right? It's older and is less black than other states. So I'm confident that North Carolina, unless Harris can really drive out turnout in the Raleigh, Chapel Hill, Durham tech triangle, which are really urban population. So unless she can really localize her support in North Carolina, I believe North Carolina will vote to the right of those other swing states. And with that, not Trump really has really surpassed, exceeded the 279, 270 electoral vote threshold. So with those 4 states, Trump is elected president, and you see how important those 3 states are for Harris and Trump campaign. Going down to Georgia, Georgia really was a big Republican state a few years ago, as Arizona was. He voted for Romney in both 2020 and in McCain in 2008. It was back then a big Republican state, but its string has since shifted to the right, to the left, and voted for the Democratic candidate for the first time in 1992. This is because Georgia has been really shifting its demographic. Georgia is the youngest state, is one of the most educated states, and it's one of the most diverse states among the battleground states, right? Way more than North Carolina. So I expect Georgia to go to the right of to left of North Carolina, and I expect that those driving in young voters, diverse voters, will actually make Georgia one of the most left trending states, right? Georgia, I think, will vote to the left of most of those other states. Take a look at trends and take a look at how the demographic is changing. All right, you see, Georgia was a big Republican state a few years ago, but if you look at demographics, really you see change. You see Georgia, big urban area around Atlanta, suburbs Atlanta, big young population, and also big black and diverse population right here. So polls were really accurate in 2020 and 2016, and right now in Georgia, Trump is leading by 1.1 points. But again, this is within the margin of error. So if you take a look at trend and demographic, according to our model, Georgia will go actually down as tilt Harris. Again, this is within half of a point, right? So I'm completely sure that Trump could win here. It may be that really trends change, all right? Maybe the Democrats can really grow more than that, and then the suburban voters who turned to Biden in 2020 come back home, that the establishment of Republican Party really comes back and really can win many votes here, and then Georgia will vote to the right of those other states. But I don't think so, all right? This is possible, but unlikely, and I believe that Georgia will actually go to the left of some other states. So if you go down here in the west, you see that Arizona and Georgia are really similar state if you look at trends, right? In 2020, 2012, they really voted for Romney, and they shifted together, and again, they were won by Biden by similar margins in 2020. This is not for the same reason, demographically speaking, alright? They are demographically trending to the right. Arizona is home to many Latino voters, Georgia's not. And what really driving big turnout for Democrats in Arizona is really the expansion of Maricopa County and of urban voters. Right here, college graduates coming here into Maricopa County, and so the big education drive factor that really not really as big as in Georgia. So for different reasons, for example, because Arizona is actually older than Georgia, but for different reasons, Arizona and Georgia has since voted the same. So I expect again Arizona to keep its trend to the left. The question is, will the nation shifting to the right from 2020 stop this trend here in Arizona or not? And will the candidates be able to localize the race? For example, will Harris be able to localize the race here in those 3 states, playing among which is like women rights, abortion, to really offset the national trends? These are the questions that we have to figure out how to answer. Of course, it depends on many factors. So you may say, fundamentally speaking, Arizona and Georgia are really similar. The difference here is about polls. Again, they were really accurate polls in 2020. Right now, Trump has seen a little bit better polls in Arizona than Georgia, right? Just slightly better state and more consistent polls for him than in other states. For this region, we're gonna put down Arizona as tilt Republican. Again, we are within 1 point, so really anything can change right here. Nevada is the only state among the 7 battlegrounds that Trump never won in either 2020 or 2016, and this is a state that is really trending to the right. So have the opposite trends of Arizona and Georgia. It really was a comfortably blue state back in 2008 and even 2012. Obama won it really with big margins. Even in 2016, Clinton won it by 2.4, and it really shifted to the right from 2016-2020 because again you see that it really didn't change its vote from 2020, despite the nation actually voting to the right of 2020 or 2016 in 2020. You see that really, demographically speaking, Nevada is more similar for certain parts to those three states and to Arizona and Georgia. This is because, again, yes, Arizona is home to many Latinas, but Latinas population are shifting to the right, as we know. Trump is making big inroads with them. And it's home to really many blue-collar workers. And blue-collar workers right here in Nevada, the hospitality workers, are those that are really more receptive about Trump message and are those that really shifted those states from solid blue to toss-up states and swing states. So I expect this trend to continue. Democrats are really a big apparatus here in Nevada with Latino, with really some people from California, really close to California. So geographical neighbors really matter again in elections. But I expect the trend to continue. The thing is that Nevada is the only state among those 7 battlegrounds where Trump's support was overestimated in 2020 and 2016, and is one of the states where Harris has polled better in 2024 among the southern states. So take account those factors, those really conflicting factors, and you see that the race is pretty much tight right here, but right now Trump has a narrow edge in Nevada. Again, this is really a projection. It doesn't mean it could change. It means really those states and those hierarchies may change. If really polls have the upper hand, it's really polls a better at understanding the race that we expect. If fundamentals, if demographics are really what tips the scale. So it's really difficult to understand this. But in a comprehensive model, in a probabilistic expression, so in a probabilistic distribution, this is right now the most likely outcome. Again, the state is a statistical tie in at least 4 states, which means that either candidate has a less than 60% chance of winning. In another state, again, for example, Michigan, Michigan, and North Carolina, the race is really close, even though a candidate has more than 60% chance. This is my projection right now. Trump has the upper hand, and I think that Harris' most likely path, rather than going through these 3 states, because I don't think she can win Wisconsin so easily, I think I would focus here more on the southern state, alright? She may have a path in the southern state. For example, if she carries Georgia and Arizona and Nevada, she just only needs one of those most states. For example, here, the state of Michigan. Note please that if Trump wins Nevada and just holds on Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina, he wins the election. So Harris would need to win Pennsylvania big, and this is why Pennsylvania is so important. It's not the same thing with Trump, because Trump could really lose Pennsylvania and still win the election by winning Wisconsin, Arizona, and Georgia. Again, those are states that have trended to the left, so I don't think this will happen, alright? I don't think that if Trump wins Arizona and Georgia with a trendy to the left, he will lose, for example, Pennsylvania. This is unlikely, but again, it may happen, for example, if really Republicans gain ground here, right? Again, this is the whole thing, how national trends really, the nation shifting to the right will really affect those states' trends, and how much the race can be localized and the campaign can be localized to go against national trends. This is the big question that we need to answer. So right now our map will look like this, and as you know, as we just commented on this. with Harris winning just 1 out of 7 battleground states. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like the video if you liked it, and be free to comment with your thoughts, and be ready to stay up to date with the channel as the election gets really closer. I'm gonna update my model sooner, and so stay updated for the latest news and the latest projection on the state of the race to the White House on the 2024 presidential election. See you next time.